Legends Fest is the most anticipated event of the year, and it's just a couple weeks away, which is crazy to think about, but even crazier is what Toastie and the Legends team might be able to pull off for this year's Legends Fest, including a first ever for the game, but more on that in a moment. Now, there's no denying that the 5th anniversary is hands down the most insane Legends celebration to date. You might have your personal favorite celebrations that you liked more than the 5th anniversary, but from nearly any standpoint, from free-to-play characters to summonable characters, no other celebration even holds a flame to the 5th anniversary. So how do they top peak? I think there's a possibility we just got a taste of it from the most recent celebration, but I'll get to that in just a second. Because first, we need to put 2023 Legends into perspective with just how massive this year has been compared to the 2 previous years. So in 2021, there were 13 LFs and 1 summonable Ultra. In 2022, there were 10 LFs and 4 summonable Ultras. And in 2023, there's been 10 LFs and 5 Ultras, and I'm trying to hit 1 million subs, so hit the red subscribe button down there. So bare minimum, we're finishing this year with 12 LF and 6 Ultras, 4 more premium releases than 2021 and 2022. And given how they handled the 5th anniversary with 4 premium summonable characters, there's a possibility it'll end up being even more than just that. So how are they going to structure Legends Fest this year? This is the most common prediction I've seen from a lot of people. You start the Legends Fest with 1 singular LF. In the middle of Legends Fest, you give us a 2nd LF. And at the very end of Legends Fest, you give us our finale Ultra. Sound familiar? That's because that was last year's structure. And I do think that moving forward, this is the safest bet for trying to predict Legends Fest this year. But what if they change up the formula once again? Now, did you notice what they did differently with the most recent Movie Saga celebration? They dropped the Ultra first and the LF second. Legends loves to test out new campaign structures around this time. Last year for September, they released LF Cooler, and in the same month, they dropped an Ultra. It was a bit under the radar, but that was truly their first time to do that until they would later do it in December for Legends Fest with LF Tag Vegeta and Trunks and Ultra Gogeta Blue, both releasing in December. And then they would do it again in January with LF17 and Ultra Hit. So I think there's a really solid chance that they start this year's Legends Fest with an Ultra instead of saving one for the end. But I don't think the craziness ends right there, because I think they could also end the celebration with an Ultra too. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. This is the structure I'm personally proposing for Legends Fest 2023. Part 1, to debut the entire Legends Fest in Ultra. Part 2, obviously an LF. The possibility of a fake out LF like they did during the 5th anniversary. Probably a little less likely for getting potentially 2 Ultras instead of just 1, but still at least an LF right there sandwiched in the middle. And then part 3 to finish up the entire celebration of Legends Fest 2023 with a massive Ultra release and the final character of the year. Now, this would be a massive change to the current celebration format. But like I said, the developers are testing the waters with these celebrations. Matter of fact, few celebrations have been the same over the last few years. So would it really surprise you if they changed it yet again? Now, it could definitely go full on 5th Annie format, which is part 1 with a massive LF release, part 2 with double LFs, and again, a potential fake out where we think we're just getting 1, but then boom, we're actually getting 2, and then finish the celebration off in part 3 with a massive Ultra release. And that wouldn't really surprise me much either, but I really believe this Movie Saga celebration that we are still technically in the middle of was a tease for what's to come. And more important than even the structure of the celebration, how do they top the 5th anniversary with character selection? Well, with what I mentioned at the very beginning, ever since their introduction, they love making these tag characters the true headliners of these celebrations. 2021 Legends Fest, Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta. 2022 Legends Fest, SHA4 Goku and Vegeta. 2023, our first ever Ultra tag character. I think something like this is truly not out of the realm of possibility. They could obviously introduce something entirely new. Tag characters were a new concept 2 years ago, but we've had quite a few since, and they've been getting pretty creative with the unique gauges and Vegeta Blue's finisher, so it could be something entirely new. But my personal money is on the fact that we get our first Ultra tag character, and what better way to introduce that than with a Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta. Now, the other option, which would give me chills, bro, is is a Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta, where their intro is each of them going into their God forms. Like, cool little spin on that. No pun intended with Vegeta. And I would get chills because you know how they would debut it? A build up to it is with Blizzard. So whether it be an Ultra Tournament of Power Goku and Vegeta that's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and Evolution, or DBS Broly Super Saiyan Gods, I think that is how you debut the first ever Ultra Tag character. So if that's how they start the festival, then how do they follow that up? I'm not sure anything will top the 5th anniversary fake out when we were all expecting Orange Piccolo LF, and then they surprised us with not only him, but also the LF Gammas. But even if they can't fully top that moment, which I doubt they can, I'm sure they'll at least try. I think a pretty solid guess here is something related to GT. That tag definitely needs some help, and I know that a lot of people are thinking that the Ultra for this year will for sure be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and even if it is, that tag needs more than just Ultra SSJ 4 Gogeta, so they need to throw that tag as many bones as they possibly can. So I think we could see a baby LF or maybe even a Super 17 LF. We could always use more villains. We could always use more things from the GT tag, and while I know this isn't exactly like true hype, we're talking about starting the festival with an Ultra and ending it with an Ultra, so this is the time that they could still do something fun, but maybe not totally zap us of our Chrono Crystals, or I guess the majority of the player base. But because it is Legends Fest, my guess is they wouldn't just do a villain by themselves, so they could obviously pair this up with our first ever LF SSJ4 Vegeta, because even though he's been a part of a tag character, he's never had his own solo Legends Limited character. Or they could do another Legends Limited SSJ4 Goku and do his ×10 Kamehameha as the LF, because that hasn't been a standalone character either. I do think the GT tag gets some love somewhere here at Legends Fest, and if it doesn't, my guess is January, February of next year will definitely be GT themed, because that tag needs some love. But if not the GT tag, and this might seem a bit random, but an LF Big Bang Vegeta, because where is he at? Or an LF Final Flash Vegeta. And if they go the Big Bang route, and the fact that I don't think they would team that up with an LF 19, even though that makes the most sense, but still, it's 19. I think it'd actually be a pretty cool opportunity to give us a standalone 18. The yellow 18 was a menace, and besides the tag androids, she hasn't had like a crazy standalone unit basically since then. And keeping on that same energy of an LF Super Saiyan Vegeta, what if they gave us a return of cooler LF Meta Cooler? And then they could either team him up with a tag unit. Hey, listen, tag units are tag units, bro. But a tag Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta. This would actually be identical to the part 2 of the Worldwide Celebration 2022 on Dokkan, which I'm totally here for. Or they pair up a Meta Cooler with finally an LF Z Broly. Where's he at? I don't understand it. How does Z Broly not have an LF in this game yet? Baffling. So obviously I have a ton of different theories for this part 2 slot, especially talking about just purely Legends Limited characters. But let's move on to the grand finale. Whatever it is they're hanging on to is the final character of 2023. One thing is certain, it will be peak levels of hype. They really do reserve this slot for only the most hype characters from the series, which means it can really only be a few characters in my opinion. I know everyone feels certain it's going to be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but I'm not placing all my bets on him just yet. He's obviously the biggest contender here, but I think there's a couple of characters that people might be overlooking for this slot. No matter what the structure is, I would say there's a 99.9% chance that this final time slot is an Ultra. If not Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, then who? First up, UI Goku. The name alone solidifies him as a worthy pick. Just listen to it. Ultra Instinct Goku. He just feels like a character made for the Ultra rarity. Next, Dragon Ball Super Broly. Where is he? This guy is being neglected on both games right now, and I don't get it. Breakers just got an anniversary completely centered around him. Breakers. And the reason why is because Broly is a massive character, obviously, as they gave him his own reboot. And yet neither game has really utilized his hype at all. His LF and the LF Gogeta Blue are both due up for a Zenkai. And since Gogeta Blue ended last year's Legends Fest, maybe it's his time to end this year's. Our next contender, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. His transformation scene is begging to be used for an Ultra intro. This character hasn't been touched since the 3rd anniversary, and that was the BoJack movie version. So for being technical, it's been since the Red Legends Limited version came out. And yeah, I definitely think Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is plenty hype to fit into this time slot. But finally, the pick I'm trying my best to manifest, Ultra Beast Gohan. Call me crazy. I do not care. But I think this is 100% possible. And I think Toastie would get a kick out of putting not one, but two playable Beast Gohans in Legends before Dokkan even has one. Now, I do think of everything I've listed here, this would be the absolute most hype. And technically, since it would be an Ultra, there are still scenes to pull from for his intro, and they could embellish a little on the rest of his animations. And speaking of animations, there's a ton of crazy Dragon Ball Super Broly animations right here in this. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Click it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!